Coming up on Beavers All Access, Beaver fans say goodbye to a special group of softball seniors. The new-look Beavers wrap up spring football practice in style. And we go off the field with baseball's Mitch Canham, the Pac-10 Sportsman of the Year.
My choice to come here to Oregon State, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So prick up your ears, because there's a lot to be excited about. Beavers All Access starts right now. From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, this is Beavers All Access. Here's your host, Todd Mansfield.
Thanks so much. Glad you're joining us for one more edition of Beavers All Access. I'm Todd Mansfield. Today, two great guests, baseball coach Pat Casey and football coach Mike Riley. But before we get to those two, let's take a moment to go ahead and update you on some of the spring sports teams and how they've fared here at Oregon State University.
The Oregon State gymnastics team finished 12th at the NC2A championships 2 weeks ago, while Mandy Rodriguez and Tasha Smith earned first-team All-American honors on vault. Jamie Lands earned second-team All-American honors on bars. After finishing strong during the second half of the season, the Oregon State men's golf team earned an NC2A regional berth for the first time since 2003. In addition, James Allenby of the men's golf team and Jessica Hart of the women's golf team each earned all Pac-10 Conference honorable mention honors. The 19th-ranked Oregon State women's rowing team captured the Winchell Cup and the Tammy Crawford Plate from Washington State last weekend at Dexter Lake. The women won 3 races versus the Cougars, while the 18th-ranked Oregon State men's rowing team put together 3 solid races against number 4-ranked Stanford. Do you have an inflamed tailgate, itchy first down finger, acute Reeser nostalgia, or chronic Beaver jersey wearing? You may have the fever, and the only cure may be to call 1-800-GO-BEAVS. Oregon State Athletics just announced the launch of the Fever campaign, targeting new football season ticket sales. Currently, there's a nice spike in ticket sales due to the gutsy and remarkable 10-win season from last fall. But the true growth of the Beaver sports is in the new blood and more fans joining the ranks of Beaver Nation. There is also a new multi-page ticket brochure full of info and details on amenities and Reeser Stadium. To view the new season ticket information, click on one of the Fever buttons on OSUBeavers.com. Help is really on the way.
So glad you're joining us for this edition of Beavers All Access. Head coach Pat Casey joining me, men's baseball coach. And Coach, you know, I have to ask you, when you guys are sitting there and dealing with the bullseye, and you carried it all season long, and here we are near the end, how has that been for this young team that you put together out there?
We would love to be in the position where we were playing for the national championship every single year. Right. Reality is that, and this is a great point, someone said, do you guys realize that you have spent the last 2 full seasons and over 30 games this season in the top 10 in the country in baseball, and how many teams have done that? So we're fighting to go 3 years in a row and be a top 15 team in the country. Tough task, especially for a bunch of new guys. You
know, and it's tough because when you're not up there, why aren't you up there? When you are they're always looking for something. But that's also what makes the OSU fans so great. They are passionate, they're knowledgeable, and they love their Beavers.
We got the best, by far the best fans anywhere in the country. Kids come out the back door. You got people standing there waiting for autographs, hundreds of them. They got the barbecues going, the tailgate going. You know, like I said before, we've had so many kids say this is the place they want to play because of the environment, the enthusiasm. And, you know, that's a tribute to the program, to the university, but especially to our fans who keep coming back and realizing that, you know, we're putting a bunch of young men on the field, competing in the best conference in America and trying to win a conference championship, trying to get into a regional, trying to do the things that make college athletics so special.
Well, and with those fans and with that support comes an opportunity for you guys to expand what you've already built over there. Tell me a little bit more about some of the things that you're looking to add, because, I mean, it's already one of the finest stadiums, if not the finest in the country.
Well, it is the absolute finest place to play a game and watch a game. The issue we've had is that we don't have enough seating. We are now expanding the actual stadium itself down to both bullpens. So underneath we'll have an academic center, we'll have a memorabilia room, we'll have some coach's office, we'll have a player's lounge, and we'll seat over 3,000 people in permanent seating. You know, we're in the middle of the fundraising project now. I think we've raised more than $3 million. We need to get to about 5. Construction is going to start this summer, so just a great time for Oregon State, the athletic department, the baseball program, and someday it's going to be fun to sit back, pick a seat out there that I can sit and watch and say, hey, we got to get that bunt down. We got to do. So I've been fortunate to be part of this and part of the growth and come into a program that was already a great baseball program to begin with. So it's been fun, and we certainly are continuing to find ways that we can do a better job of putting the best product on the field.
Well, you guys have brought in some great players. We're going to talk about a few of those. When we return, we will take a short break, but be back in just a moment. Head coach Pat Casey, the men's baseball team. I'm Todd Mansfield. We return in a moment on Beavers All Access.
Up next on Beavers All Access, the Beavers and the Huskies go big league at Safeco Field. And although he's one of the top collegiate players in the country, Mitch Canham knows there's more to life than just baseball.
Sportsmanship's not just stuff that happens on the field. It's carrying yourself on and off the field.
Beavers All Access rolls on in a moment.
Hey, you're watching Beavers All Access. All right.
The 9th-ranked Oregon State baseball team played in front of the largest crowd ever to see a Pac-10 baseball game last Friday night at Safeco Field. Over 10,000 people gathered at the Seattle Mariners' home ballpark to watch the Beavers take on the Huskies, and nearly half the crowd appeared to be wearing OSU's orange and black. Oregon State returns home next weekend for a Pac-10 series against Washington State, with games Friday at 5, Saturday and Sunday at 1 at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. All three games can be heard on Joe Radio 1240 AM and KUIK 1360. Oregon State junior Mitch Canham is one of 50 players from across the country named as a semifinalist for the USA Baseball Golden Spikes Award and the Dick Hauser Trophy, given annually to the nation's top collegiate player. He was also recently awarded the 2007 Pac-10 Conference Sportsmanship Award. But as much as baseball is his #1 love, he knows that there's much more to life than that.
Sportsmanship's not just stuff that happens on the field. It's carrying yourself on and off the field and being a role model for your team and showing respect for other players outside of your team and just learning to play the game the way it should be played. Because baseball is a game that, we're all blessed to have played, and the game deserves a lot of respect. So as far as, being the sportsman, stuff that goes along with that, I do a lot of stuff in the community. I try to be involved any chance I get, whether it be talking to the youth of the community about, staying away from drugs and Habitat for Humanity, helping build houses for the homeless, or working with the student advisory committee and jumping in on different fundraisers, putting on concerts, doing anything just to help other people out, because a lot of us student athletes have stuff that everyone else doesn't have. We're given opportunities to travel around and play a sport at a D1 level. So it's good for us to have a chance to give back, and we really should. So I try to instill that in all the other players on the team. I've had every opportunity and chances to make things happen, and I've just been blessed to have been put in this situation to be on such a great baseball team and to have a chance to learn in the classroom with outstanding professors and be around people that are just enjoyable and a great community. So my choice to come here to Oregon State, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's kind of sad to know that it's going to be ending soon, but Oregon State's done a good job of pushing me towards the right direction, and I feel like I'm going to be, in the right path for the rest of my life. So, love it.
Well, I think what you guys just all saw right there, that little deal about Mitch Canham says it all. Sportsmanship, talent. I mean, he is truly one of those just great players, great people that comes along once in a while.
Special kid, he really is, and he's been that way since he got here, and I'm really happy for him because, last year he was drafted and chose to come back to Oregon State, and, everybody had told him that's the wrong decision. Gosh, it's going to cost you money, and now look at him. He's going to have a degree. Nobody's benefited more than him and our program. Extremely proud of Mitch Canham and what he's done here, and he'll do many, many things in his life that are going to be greater than this, too.
A lot of kids coming home. I mean, we talk about some of the ones that came in to fill some holes. We've mentioned Jordan Leonardton at times. We talk about Ogata. We can talk about Drew George, who, as I like to say, lives on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
it's becoming the place to come at Oregon State because you get the great education, you have all the trainers that can take care of anything, and of course, as we all know, Pac-10 baseball is at the top.
Well, I've been thinking about all the kids from Oregon and Washington that have been here and have been successful. Maybe not even on the baseball field, maybe in the community, maybe in what they're doing business-wise. But I think of people that have combined the two. And you're right. It's nice to have those kids decide they want to stay in the Pacific Northwest, decide they want to play college baseball here. And one of the things that I think that everybody used to fight is that it was hard in the Pacific Northwest to get kids to stay here because there wasn't a venue or an environment they wanted to play in. If you take a kid down to Georgia or LSU and they're looking at their fans, and now all of a sudden they come on a visit here and they go, wow, this is pretty good. You mean people are standing outside trying to get a ticket? It's changed their perception of it, and it's sure made it nice for us to be able to keep those kids. And when you look at the strength of baseball up here, Washington, Oregon, Idaho continues to get better. This is just a great opportunity for us to continue the role and continue to try to do the things that we think are going to keep us in the national rankings year in, year out.
Coach, best of luck.
I'll take it. I need luck, man.
All right. Thanks, as always. Head coach Pat Casey of the men's baseball team as they get ready for that stretch run. And let's see where they head. We'll certainly follow and keep a close eye on them. Time for us to take a break. Football with head coach Mike Riley coming up next on the Beavers All Access Show.
Coming up on Beavers All Access, the Beavers send off the most successful class in OSU softball history. And Coach Riley recaps an exciting spring football camp.
We're looking for the overall development of people in the program, and we did get that.
There's more Beavers All Access after the break. Beavers All Access is brought to you by Standard TV and Appliance and by the Big River Restaurant, home of Beavers All Access.
Beaver seniors Tatiana McElroy, Mia Longfellow, Natalie Johnson, Sharina Galvan, and Brianne McGowan played their final home game in front of 818 fans at the OSU softball complex on Sunday. The 5 Beaver seniors have the highest winning percentage of any class in OSU softball history. Oregon State will head to the Bay Area next week to face California on Thursday and will close out the regular season at number 16 Stanford Friday and Saturday.
From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, here's your host, Todd Mansfield.
Head coach Mike Riley joining us, the football team here at Oregon State. So glad you could do it again this spring. You're a busy man. You're tough to track down. Everything has been happening and happening well. Let's reflect back on what's happened this spring. And I want to talk about some of the big-name stars. Let's talk about Evanson Bernard to start on the offensive side of things. You can't say enough about him. How has his spring been?
We still have tended to keep him out of a lot of stuff, and that was our goal, was to get him practicing a lot, but then in some of the scrimmages bring him back off of it. And Ev is one of the best, Todd, the best players I've ever coached. All around player, person, blocker, receiver, runner. I mean, he puts it all together, and he does it with a great toughness and a lot of intelligence. He's really fun guy to have.
And last year, of course, the emergence of Sammy Strotter at wideout, also, of course, on special teams. Everybody's going to be talking about him this year. I've even heard whispers of the old H word, a little Heisman, and who knows about that. But how was his spring? Where did he develop and get even stronger?
Well, he has gotten to where he is because he's got talent, and he's a tremendous worker and learner. Another tremendous individual. I think right along with the improvement of our football team was the emergence of Sammy making plays last year.
Yeah. Flip side, Jeff Van Orso, a name that will always be remembered in Oregon State lore after what he did against USC. How has that group been as they have become the anchor of the defense?
Well, Jeff is another guy that through personal development, his character, he has worked himself into being who he is as a player, which is a great example for all the other guys in the deal. And his development, for me personally, has been exciting to watch because you've just seen it take place through hard work.
You mentioned character, and that seems to be one thing that you have been able to filter throughout this team now. It is filled with character people and winners.
there are two things that we look at in general. One of the areas in growth and development is on the football field. I mean, we spend a lot of time with that, and the weightlifting and the conditioning and the practicing. But the other thing that goes right along with it that is a big, big feature in our job, the most important thing to me, is the development of young men and the character in the program. And I really believe that these two things fit together in winning anyway. But it's really fun to see these guys grow as people and to see who they become, and that's the real reward in what we do.
When we come back, those characters are going to be wearing some new uniforms in this upcoming fall season. We'll take a look at that and talk much more with Coach Mike Riley when we return on Beavers All Access.
Up next on Beavers All Access, the football team's got a new look in more ways than one. Plus, we'll look back at some highlights from the spring game.
You know, I thought this was a good way to end the spring.
Beavers All Access is back in a moment.
Beavers All Access! Hot pot!
The Beavers wrapped up spring football practice with the annual spring game in front of nearly 7,000 fans at Reser Stadium on April 28th. Several starters, including running back Evanson Bernard, were held out of the game for precautionary reasons. The black team scored 20 first-half points and held off a second-half rally by the white squad for a 20-14 win. Sean Canfield quarterbacked the black squad and completed 17 of 30 passes for 224 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Lyle Moivau saw most of the action for the white squad, and he went 13 of 28 for 168 yards and 1 touchdown. Canfield flipped a shovel pass to Clinton Polk, and the running back took it 70 yards for the opening score. The black defense made it 14-0 moments later when Bryant Cornell ripped the ball out of Lyle Moivau's hands and raced 42 yards for a touchdown. The white squad forced 2 turnovers in the game, a first-half interception by Greg Laybourne and a second-half fumble recovery by Gerard Lee. The white team had a total of 8 sacks, while the black team, 3 sacks.
From the Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, this is Beavers All Access.
Welcome back, everyone. Todd Mansfield and head coach Mike Riley of the football team. We mentioned it before going to break. New uniforms. It's a new look. Tell me a little bit about this. It's something different for you guys.
It is fun, and I think our fans will like it, and I know our players do. You know, we've had a couple of changes through the years, and I think this will just be exciting, particularly the one new jersey. I think everybody will like.
Wanted to ask you also about the new construction that's going on over at Reser. It just every year that it grows more beautiful.
It really does, and it's fun for me because in my office I sit out there and watch the progress day to day, and it has been, the original transformation of the new side was awesome. Mm-hmm. And but to see this kind of enclose the stadium and really tighten it up, it's got a whole new look to it. I think there's been some great work done by a lot of people, and I really appreciate the Beavers out there that have really made this thing go.
Now, new faces on this team that have stepped up. You know, last year you guys had to bring in a lot of JCs. This year, not so much, but because you've already got them. But are there new faces we should look for?
Well, there's going to be some that could make an impact. You know, I think you're exactly right. From a year ago, particularly the junior college guys that we brought in, we hit it right on the head. These were good guys and good players. Joey LaRock and Coy Francis, Dorian Smith, Gerard Lee, Clinton Polk. I mean, these guys came in and impacted our football team. I don't know that we'll get that as much, and we don't need it as much. We have a lot of returning players, but there's a couple, Johnny Ioane and Michael Cole, offensive linemen, which we really need that could come in here and impact the competition for playing time.
Let's talk a little bit about the schedule, because you guys play a lot at home early, a lot on the road late. How does that shape up for you?
Well, you know, it's I don't know. You know, what I do know, it's a very competitive schedule. Our non-league games have shaped up into being some really, really good football teams. Utah is a very good program, and we'll have a good team. Cincinnati was a bowl team from a year ago and an outstanding program. So that's how we get started, and then we all know the rest of it. You know, it's always going to be tough week to week. Yeah. I think one of the main things about the 2006 Beavers that people don't talk about enough is the way we started forced us into a game-by-game routine. Mm-hmm. We had to say, you know, and this is coach speak all over the world, one game at a time, all that, but literally that was the Beavers' life. So hopefully we have good practice for that. We'll need it again.
Coach, as always, thanks for the time. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Tom.
Looking forward to the fall, and I know a lot of you are as well. It's going to be another exciting football season in Corvallis. For Coach Mike Riley, I'm Todd Mansfield. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Beavers All Access. We'll catch you next time.